Good morning, good morning. Hope all is well out there. This is Thomas Taylor III coming to you live on February 21st, Sunday morning. First, want to give a happy birthday shout out to my nephew, Mr. Kamani McDaniels. Happy born day, nephew. Hope all is well. Happy birthday. Today, I want to talk to you about you. You might say, why is that? Because a lot of us are living our lives in the shadows of other individuals. That could be a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a auntie, a cousin, just somebody who has a stronger opinion of you in terms of how you should live your life according to them in actuality, right? So that's what the challenge is today. Like, how do we get outside of living in somebody else's shadow? Okay. So when I was growing up, not to tell my age, for those that can relate and understand, when I was growing up, there was always a commercial from Uncle Sam, commercial or even a poster. It was Uncle Sam in a red, white, and blue suit with a red, white, and blue hat. And those that you can remember, what was the commercial? It said, "We want you." Yep, you guys remember that. And for those that are too young, just go to your favorite person Google and just Google it, and I guarantee you will find it and you will see it. But the commercial was, it was asking you to come over to join in the armed forces, right? But it didn't say we want a copy of you. No, it didn't say we want a facsimilation thereof of you. Nah, it was very poignant and focused, and it said, "We want you." Well, why do you think it said that? Because they understood that if you can pass certain entry tests and actually get accepted into those armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, they knew that they would take you and they would strip you down. They would break you down, right? From all of the things that you came there with. They would strip you all the way down. They would actually build you back up. Slowly build you back up to how they wanted you to be, right? Not how you thought you should be, but they were very direct on certain philosophies, certain ideologies that they wanted you to know and understand that only they could teach you, right? So coming up, I hired a lot of people, and some of the best people that I actually hired that ever worked for me were people in the military. Why? Because I never had to actually worry about them or if they was going to be late. It's just they had a certain discipline, individuals that were actually in the armed services based upon how they were trained, right? So what does that mean? What is my point? My point is that sometimes we live our lives not really the way we want to live them. As you can see, my wife and I often talk about individuals that's on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and you see people living their lives a certain way. But let's say, a couple, maybe they showing on Facebook that they went on vacation and everything's fine. But behind that, they're about to get divorced or they're not really talking, right? So a lot of people not really living their authentic life. And that's what the challenge today is, ladies and gentlemen. How do you get outside or get past or get from behind somebody else's shadow of them thinking and directing and dictating how you should live your life? Why? Because, and I use me as an example, for those that know me, I've been inspiring and motivating people for decades, you guys, for years. This is not new. But I was personally challenged by my coach to get out of my own way, right? And actually share it with the world, right? But if I wasn't authentic, like if this wasn't who I truly was, I would be more shy, right? Why? Because I would say, oh man, if I get on camera and if I start talking to people, they may realize or think or judge me and say,
That's not how he really is, man. I know how that dude is, right? But I can sit here in front of you guys and say that how I'm coming to you, how I'm speaking right now, is lining up with how I live my life, right? From an authenticity standpoint. And my coach always used that word, right? Authenticity. Are you authentic, right? So I can sit here today in front of the world, right, and inspire you. Why? Because it's something that I've been doing for years, right? So I got this theory, right? Excuse me, and it's called one to a box theory, right? And myself, like you, been to many funerals, right? Now, funerals, you mourn. I've seen people, fall out. I've seen people jump on caskets. But ladies and gentlemen, one thing I've never seen, and maybe you have, but I haven't. I've never seen anybody get in the casket, right? Never. So I have a one to a box theory. And what does that mean? That when you die, they're only going to put one person in that box, right? I've never seen a double wide casket. I just haven't seen it. Even if couples pass away at the same time, there's two individual caskets, right? So my one to a box theory says that when I die, if I'm the only one that's going to be in that casket, right, while I'm living, I'm going to be the one that's going to determine how I live my life, right? Why? Because when you pass away, those individuals that you may be living your life for, they may not even come to your funeral, you guys. And that's statistics, right? It's based upon the weather. If it's raining, oh man, you're going to get less people that's actually physically going to come to your funeral, right? So the reason why I'm kind of just talking to you about all this is because while we're here and living our lives, we have so much work to do, you guys. For me personally, again, doing these Facebook Lives, I've gotten so much feedback on how it has helped individuals kind of move in certain areas, for certain directions. So just think about it. If I never had the gall and the challenge to get out of my own way personally, right? How could I help other people? And if you ever read Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren, page 17, he says that. He says, this life, ladies and gentlemen, this life is not about you. It's not about you. It's about all those people that actually are assigned to you that can help, that you can help, right? You can physically help, right? Because you have gifts and you have talents that you haven't even, begun to exercise yet. Primarily sometimes because we live our lives in the shadows of other people. Man, what are they going to say about me? What are they going to think about me? Right? Well, at the end of the day, you guys, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, if you have a gift, right? It's your responsibility to share it with those around you because you just never know how many people that you just might bless. Why? Because you don't know what they're going through, right? We don't stand on the corner and say, hey, I'm going through some pain. Hey, I'm going through some heartache, right? We all know people, individuals, or friends of friends who've had people who committed suicide, right? And you stop and you think like, wow, like that person committed suicide. Like you can't fathom that. Like your mind can't think that deep to say like, wow, they actually did that. Why? Because you never know what people are actually going through, right? So I committed to my coach to do Facebook Lives right for the month of February. But you guys, and I'll continue to give feedback, but the way that I see that it's actually, helping people, I will continue and I'll move it to different platforms because it's necessary, right? It's a gift that God has placed inside of me, and it's my duty to get it out of me to put the world on notice. So I'm not going to keep you. Um, Make sure you get out there today. Today's Sunday. For some it's the Sabbath, and give homage and give thanks. Next Saturday, actually, I got invited to be a guest on Disruptors Virtual Symposium for Black businesses. I will post that information in my Facebook as well as Instagram. I think my slot may be 10 o'clock For those that are involved in the network, it's free. For those that want to attend, it's $15 for general admission, and then there's some other tiers, but I'll post all that information. But you guys, make sure you go out there and make it a great day. We will continue to pray for our family and brothers and sisters in that Dallas area. You know, you guys are going through a lot out there. Stay strong, because this too shall pass. This is Thomas Taylor III, you guys. Go out there and make it a great day and get out of somebody else's shadow until we speak again.